What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we got the digital release for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Last Jedi, man, it is very, very divisive in the old Star Wars fan base. Just you got people that like it, and then you got people that hate its guts. It's split. It's split, man. I'm one of the ones who likes it. Like, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's like the best Star Wars movie ever. I think for about half the movie is not what I would like to see. The Resistance stuff for me is just awful. It doesn't make any sense. You know, the way the First Order acts and how the Resistance acts, it just doesn't click. I like what they did with Luke, and I like what they did with Rey and Kylo and all that. But it's just Snoke as well. Snoke I'm not keen on either. But I do have a review there if you want to go check that out. But we are going to check out the deleted scenes that basically got left out of the movie, because this is something that I've been very keen to see. This was the longest Star Wars movie, so there was room to have, some scenes. And for the ones to be cut, I mean, let's see. We already saw it, the Phasma one. I have a video out for that, so we'll probably skip that one just because, I've already seen it and I've already done my reactions. But we'll put it all into the discussion at the end, all right? So we're going to watch them all, and then we'll discuss them at the end, okay? All right, so let's check it out. 3, 2, 1, go. Alternate opening. Scrolling everything down. Man, this is like one of the hypest bits when you go to watch Star Wars like for the first time, a new one, hypest bit right there. The pan. Oh, Corvette. Who is this? That's not a planet. Oh, it is a planet, but then that's not a planet. Oh, they moved this scene around. Right. Okay, they just moved the scene around a little bit. It's leaking everywhere. They really thought about this. Like, they did a whole scene for it and everything. Okay. Oh.
They found us.
Well, we knew that was coming. Onyx, is the base fully evacuated?
Still loading the last batch of transports. We need more time.
I like the opening that's there. I think that's alright. Page's gun jams. Oh, bomber stuff. I like these bombers, but my god, are they useless. They're very old school. I love them, but even the guns. How does the gun jam? They're real old school. That's like full on like World War II bomber stuff. I love it. I love those bombers, but I can see why people would be like, how does that happen? But yeah.
What did you think was going to happen here? You think that I came to the most unfindable place in the galaxy for no reason at all?
Because I wanted to get away from it all.
I'm not leaving without you.
He didn't like the celebrity. Hated it. Nah. He's running from his guilt. Hello? Hello! Oh, this would be for Han. I like that. I like that scene. Like him, because he doesn't know that Han's gone. I like that. It shows like he's reacted other than saying, "Where's Han?" Like I like that one. I like that one. This is just connecting that on to the next scene. Oh, not much of a sewer. Okay.
So
right
you
before
blew
they
up
get found
Starkiller
again.
Base. Yeah. Ray beat Kylo, the Resistance got the map. You won, right? Why doesn't this feel like winning?
We came out of hiding to attack Starkiller. It didn't take long for the First Order to find our base. Now we gotta regroup and go back at them.
I like how they
What you guys
like,
are doing,
that's
but I didn't
explaining
enjoy
it a
this
little
one.
bit. I like
I
that.
want you to think I'm something I'm not.
Hey, it's fine. You're all right. You're here with us, where you belong. It's your jacket. I'm not much of a sewer. But, you know, I was busy saving the entire fleet.
You're demoted.
I like that. I think that's what this movie's kind of lacked a little bit, is that, you know, just normal conversation, you know, just a thing like that. Nice little scenes like that. I think that was cool. I like that one. I like that friendship with Poe and Finn. BB-8, what are you doing? I know.
We'll see each other again. I believe that.
That's cool. This was put in quite late, 'cause I mean that's got full on like CGI and everything. That was pulled quite late, this one.
That was kind of weird that you recorded that. Thank you.
It was kind of weird, but you know. R2 records stuff all the time too. I like that one. I think that one probably should have been in there.
I was cleaning my blaster, it went off.
Let's get started.
Hey!
Tobu.
I like those things. Just like, yeah. You keep walking.
Caretakers. Island natives. They've kept up the Jedi structure since they were built.
Bloody porgs.
I don't think they like me.
Can't imagine why.
Caretaker village sequence. Oh, right after this one.
You didn't fail Kylo. Kylo failed you. I won't.
Ooh. Oh, these other
It's a
people.
tribe from a neighboring island. They come here once a month to raid and
cool.
plunder the Caretaker's village.
Come on, we've got to stop them.
Do you know what a true Jedi Knight would do right now? Nothing.
This is not a lesson. They're going to get hurt. We have to help.
If you meet that raiding
Is this the
party
third
with
lesson?
force,
The lesson we never
with
saw?
greater numbers and with greater violence. Will you be here next month? That burn inside you, that anger thinking what the raiders are going to do. The books in the Jedi library say ignore that. Only act when you can maintain balance, even if people get hurt.
See, again, they're going after the old school Jedi. Like the Jedi were bad. The Jedi, the way they did things, not so good. Oh, this is a trailer scene. Okay, the running's a little weird. It's like that bad vampire running thing that you see a lot of the time. Oh! They're just having a party. What up? Yeah! So like the other male ones or something that come along? I don't know. They're all having Chewie!
Seriously?
He's having a party. At least they're not stormtrooper helmets.
Raid and plunder.
In a way.
Was this a joke?
sorry. I didn't think you just ran so fast.
I thought they were in danger. I was trying to do something.
And that's what the Resistance needs, not some old failed husk of a religion. Do you understand now?
I understand that across the galaxy, our real friends are really dying. That old legend of Luke Skywalker that you hate so much, I believed in it.
I like this.
I was wrong.
I like this scene. Why was this taken out? Cut some of that damn Canto Bite stuff. Put this shit in, man. There's some really good scenes here. They took them out. Oh, here we go. More Canto Bite. Yeah, this didn't need to be extended.
Stop enjoying this. Stop enjoying this.
I mean, I like Canto Bite. I like the idea of Canto Bite and all the rest of it. I just felt like it's a little out of place. I just, yeah. I did not like it at all, really. Are they on the rooftops?
We're on a roof.
They're like Santa's reindeer. What the hell's that guy? Oh, I remember seeing things of him. Yeah, this guy. I remember seeing pics of him. Like in the making and all that. Even the like the look on the CGI guy. Oh.
Our ship's on the beach, straight ahead. I think we lost him. Now we get down to the beach and circle back around.
Boom.
Can you swim?
No, but I'm dead.
Little far.
We're trapped.
It won't take him long to find us. It was worth it, though. To tear up that town, make him hurt.
Background looked a little weird there. Like sand. A creature above it.
Thank you.
That was like gonna be like Rose's like look how nice she is. I think. I mean, I like Rose. I like, you know, she puts in and she sort of gives you know, person to be alongside Finn and all that. That's not Poe for, you know, I don't know why, but you know. Oh. Okay. This is where his training kicks in. Yeah, the curls aren't stopped. We're good. So this was trying to be like, no, they weren't just in a hallway. Like, they had to walk through the middle of everything. Goddamn fax machine. Oh, it's Nega BB-8. I can't remember his thing.
This isn't working.
Almost there.
And for all the hype that BB unit got, like, prior to the movie coming out, it did nothing. It found them out, essentially. That was it. Like, I wanted a showdown between the two of them. Maybe next one. Maybe next one. Oh, you! You look familiar. I don't know if it's like ISB or like, you know, the version of ISB sort of thing. Or like loyalty officer, maybe. Why'd you have your hat off? Maybe that's why? Oh. Hi guys. How you doing? Oh, I know you.
Is there a problem, soldier?
FN 2187? You don't remember me? 926, Induct Camp, Batch 8?
Batch 8.
Yeah, I remember you.
Is that a Southern Stormtrooper?
926. Please don't do this.
I'm sorry, FN 2187. I know I'm not supposed to initiate contact with officers, but I never took you
I-
to captain material.
I know I'm not supposed to initiate contact.
Captain! Batch 8, I
The fuck
Batch
was
8.
that?
Hey ho.
Batch 8, oh. Well, that was just awkward. I can see why that was cut out. And the Southern Stormtrooper... Alright.
We're not gonna stay this lucky for long. Where's that tracker?
Right around the corner.
I mean, I like how they sort of showed they had to get through some things to get there, but they just didn't walk up to it. Why is the hands?
You murdering bastard!
Oh, take it easy, Big F. They blow you up today, you blow them up tomorrow. It's just business.
Still not sure on DJ. Well, don't join. I just
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe he's just not the character that I thought he was gonna be.
The Ottomock system. That brings back memories. You vermin may draw a little blood with a bite now and then. But we will always win.
Why would you put your hand there? Armitage is a punk. Don't put your hand near prisoners, fool. Jeez. Rose and Finn go to where they belong. Okay. I do love that shot when they come out of the hangar. It's cool.
So, where are we going?
Where we belong.
To that planet. Right in front of us. Still not sure on that shuttle design, eh? It's very boxy. Okay, I can see why that was taken out. Rey and Chewie and the Falcon. Luke's badass moment.
Let's go round back.
Yep, we're not going that way. Okay. Alright, so I think it's a mixed bag. I think there's a mixed bag there. I think some of them, like, you can see why they weren't there. Like, there's some small little things, like, you know, the scene with Finn and Rose when they come out, you know, deciding which, you know, do we, you know, are we going to crate or not? Like, I can understand why that's gone. But there's some stuff there that I think other scenes could have had taken away because they just weren't necessary. And if those scenes were put in, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you put some of these scenes in and instantly makes the movie great. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if these were in there, it may have sort of eased some of the bad parts a little bit. The alternate opening, I think the opening's fine the way it is. I think that one, you know, centered around Finn. I think having Finn waking up after the battle, you know, kind of, you know, confused a little bit, I think that's okay. I think let the opening be an actual, planet, an actual thing outside. The battle's already starting, all that stuff. I think that's a far better option. So I like the way the opening is now. I don't think that one was necessary. Paige's gun jams. I can see why it was taken out, because people be like, wait, these are like laser turrets. How is it jamming? Like, what is it loading? Isn't it energy based? Like, I think all those questions come in. But I think they're trying to show like, yo, this is like an old school, sort of fighter. Oh, bomber. This is meant to look like a World War II bomber. And it all does. Like, even the uniforms they wear, the masks on and everything. Like, it all has that stuff. It's all old school. And I love it. I personally love it. Because I love the whole World War II, like, warbirds and all that. And so the bombers and all that fascinate me. So I do love them. Just, my God, are they easy to kill. Like, as soon as one blows up, they all blow up. So I can see why that was taken out, but it's kind of it's a scene that I like, but I don't think it was necessary for the film. Luke has a moment. Now, this is like after he states like, what am I going to do? Run out there with a laser sword and face down the whole, First Order? Even though he kind of does that in the end. It was quite nice to see him react to Han's death. Because we see him ask, where's Han? And he does look visibly distraught when he's, going through that scene, like, normally. But to have him sort of like, just sort of, quaking in sadness, and like, it's just, you can see he's visibly, just overcome with sadness for losing probably his best friend, Like, Han is his best friend. He's like he's his brother-in-law, but he's his brother. He's been through a lot of stuff with him. You can see why. And he's also I'd imagine would blame himself too, because if he was connected to the Force at that point, he would have known that this was all going on, and that Han wouldn't have had to have got involved, and you would start getting him blaming himself a little bit there. So I like that. I think that was an extra little bit of add-on there. Because it's pretty much the scene right from the get-go. It's like 30 seconds extra. I think that scene would have added a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just show Luke, having a bit of a vulnerable side there. Not just this cranky old man that just wants to be left alone. Him hurting for his friend. I think that would have been quite nice. I think that would have been a nice thing to see. Poe, not much of a seller. I quite like this scene. I think the movie kind of needed more of these scenes where it was two main characters talking to each other about stuff that's not so related to the exact thing that's happening. It's not mission related. It's not anything like that. Because you don't see Finn and Poe talk all that much through the movie. Like, the only time they really talk is when Poe sort of catches him when he comes out of the tank and he's leaking everywhere. And then when he briefs him on the plan to, go and sneak onto the Mega Star Destroyer. But then after that, it's not much. It's all in the moment stuff. It's all mission stuff. Where this is a kind of a nice sort of friendship thing, which I think I think the movie needed a little bit. It needed some chill time. Like, kind of like Luke looking off into the sunset in, the dual sunsets in, A New Hope. It's just stuff like that just takes a break from the movie and then kicks right back into it again. Like, that's what I think needed. I think this one would be kind of a nice thing to show. And also it explains to the audience why in episode 7, the Resistance wins. And it's, it blew up the Starkiller base. Everyone's, cheering. Everyone's doing all this stuff. But then suddenly straight into 8, which is like hours afterwards, they're instantly on the back foot again, and they're getting decimated, and they're getting destroyed, and they're not winning. I think it would have been a nice thing to tell audience that maybe aren't so keeping up with that a little bit, and it would have set them in the right frame of mind for how they should look at what's happening with the Resistance. So I think it plays a couple of roles there that I think the scene could have helped with. But yeah, I think that was quite nice. It's kind of weird that you recorded that. The one with BB-8 with Poe, and he shows the hologram of Rey talking to him while he was unconscious. Yeah, it's a nice scene. It's a nice scene, and it kind of sets Finn up for why he's so determined to get off the ship. But I can see why they got rid of it, because you gotta remember R2 had a similar one with Luke, where he showed the old Princess Leia message. So if you had BB-8 do that one and then R2 do that one, I think it seems kind of repetitive in the movie. So I'd rather leave it to R2 and Luke and have that nice moment with the original recordings and stuff. I preferred that one. But it is a nice scene. It is a nice scene. The caretaker sizes up Rey. That's just a bit of a funny thing. That's something a little bit extra they could have added on if they wanted to. I don't know, better interaction with those caretakers with Luke and Rey as well. I don't think it's necessary in any way. I don't think it would have added or taken away. I think it would have added to it, I guess, but yeah, I can see that one being left off. It's no big deal. The caretaker village sequence. Now this was a late takeout. You can tell because there is a scene in there, like when she's running, that scene is in the trailer. Like I was looking for that scene. You know, I thought that was a scene where like Luke was being attacked, or you know, the Knights of Ren, wherever they're freaking gonna show up. You know, they managed to find out, you know, where they were and they came down, or you know, Kylo came. But no, it was more Luke playing another trick on her. But I think this was also like the third lesson too, that we didn't get to see. We didn't see the third lesson. And it's just Luke saying, a normal Jedi, a Jedi following the code would have just left it. They would just left the village to burn. You know, to get pillaged and everything stolen from them and all the rest of it. Because he knows what's going to happen the next time if he's not there to defend it. So it makes sense. And then Luke basically saying, but the Resistance doesn't need that. The Resistance needs doers. It needs someone who's going to take action when it's needed, but also have control over that action. So that's that gray Jedi stuff that I was hoping would be more in this film. Not just them kind of bagging on the Jedis, you know, all the time, but actual a new order type, which is, you know, gray Jedi. Didn't really work out that way. But this, like, it's just Disney. They have this thing where they want to just bag on the Jedi a lot. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them because it's true. It's true. A lot of the decisions that Jedi make are based off the code, and the code is not always right. It's not always the right thing to do. It's just it may be the morally right thing, or it may be the code right thing, but it's not going to be the best for the people that are there right now. So it's more of a, I like the scene. I liked the emotion that Rey had too. I think that was something that I think Rey lacked a little bit in this movie. I felt like sometimes when she was talking with Luke on the island, she felt very robotic in places. And I think this scene with her crying at the end, like, I believed in your legend. You were my hero. Like, everything I have done up till now, like all the stuff she did in episode 7, I believed that you would do. And I used that as a source of inspiration. And when I found out that I was like you and that you could train me, like, all that stuff came out. I liked that. I think that's something that the movie needed. You know, just to show that. And to also for Luke to sort of know, like, oh, okay, I've done something wrong there. You know, he could like his way of thinking, because it's been so twisted because of everything that's happened to him. Maybe I need to start rethinking this whole hero thing. And I think you could see that at the end of the scene, which I think would lead into him going and reawakening his powers, I think. And then I think that would also lead Rey to also go and find that dark side, like, hole cave thing, you know, where she does the mirror thing. Yeah, I think that's a scene that I think the movie missed. I think it missed that scene. Extended father chase. I don't think they missed any of that. I think they missed any of that. It was, the stuff at the end with Rose. It was just to kind of, it's a nice scene with her, her laughing and makes her likable, stuff like that. And I like Rose. I do think Rose is nice. I think she's a nice character to add into everything. She fits. I have no problems with her. And I have no problems with her like being, a potential love interest, because we don't know what Finn thinks, but we know that she's interested in Finn. I like her there. I like her and that, like, as a character. But I don't think an extended father chase was needed. That was a long scene. Like, that was 5 minutes 50 seconds of just a father chase. We didn't need that. So I'm glad they cut it down. Like, a lot of these, like, the 3 minutes they could have got for that village sequence could have taken it out of the rest of the father chase or something. I don't know. There's just some stuff that I think could have been cut down to make room for some of this stuff. The Mega Star Destroyer incursion. I liked how they had to walk through everyone. And, like, Finn, like, okay, making sure they're all, like, up to code and all the rest of it. And clearly they weren't, because I'm pretty sure that was, like, a loyalty officer or something walking around, sort of like, hey, you three, I haven't seen you before. Like, hey, something's out of whack there. Didn't help with DJ, like, taking his hat off and just walking through. Or at least at the end there. But I did like that part of the scene. But then in the actual elevator with the stormtrooper and the southern stormtrooper, which is just out of place. It was out of place. In the whole, like, him being part of his training. It was part of his batch. Batch 8. Who, like, was it like woohoo or like something like it's meant to be like hoorah, like, the whole, I think it's Marines, but it was weird and it was cringy and it wasn't right. It wasn't right, and I'm glad they got rid of that part. They could have done the whole bit at the start. It got more screen time for the evil BB-8. If they did the other scene too, but I don't know. I think it was like, it's okay the way it is. It's okay the way it is. I don't think that was a necessary thing, and we don't need the cringy Southern Stormtrooper. We don't need that. Rose bites the hand who taunts her. Basically, Armiture's just being a cocky bastard, walking up, putting his hand right next to a prisoner, and wonders why she bites him. It's also kind of to show the history that Rose has had with the First Order, how he references her system. And Armiture's like, I remember that system. I remember those times. That was when they were in the outer rim, kind of skirting around the Republic, trying to act, so they weren't there, building up resources, building up their power. It was kind of cool to hear that stuff, but I don't think you need a scene for it. And it just makes Hux look more like a punk, because he's not all that likable in this movie. He really isn't. He's probably the most whiny, like even more whiny than Kylo was a bit there. He's just, yeah. The Phasma scene. I've already done a reaction on it. If you are willing to, if you guys want to go over and see a video exclusively for that scene. I'm a big proponent that I love that scene. I think this is a scene that Phasma needed in that film to at least allow her character to develop, other than I'm going to march at you and look cool for toys. That scene, that, whole thing with her, Finn going at her and saying, hey, you broke down. You turned that shield off just because I had a gun to your head. You weren't the loyal soldier that you always tell us to be. And then all the stormtroopers looking at her. And that plays massively into the Phasma book. So if you've read the Phasma book, you read the Star Wars Phasma book, it's basically Star Wars Mad Max. Okay? Star Wars Mad Max is about Phasma's origins, where she comes from, her home planet. And it's basically stating that Phasma, she ain't loyal. She's not loyal to anyone other than the strongest tribe she can find. And at the moment, the strongest tribe is the First Order. But if that ship starts to look like it's sinking, she's up out of there. She ain't going to be around. She's not going to be around. She's not going to be there. She won't stick her neck out for anyone. She's not going to sacrifice herself for the First Order. It's not going to happen. You know, she's about self-preservation. She'll do anything for it, like killing all the stormtroopers. Like, all that stuff is pure Phasma from that book. You know, she sold out all her family and friends. Every single one of them. Like, literally sentenced them pretty much to death. Pretty much all of them. So just so she could get out in the First Order. Like, that sort of thing. So, that scene. Like, they could easily taken out the scene that they had, put that scene in where she sort of, you know, comes up on that platform and then gets shot off of it that way. Which also leads her to coming back, you know, easier, other than her falling into a fiery pit, unless they're planning on killing her off completely, which I doubt, because she looks too cool and sells too much toys. You know, that's pretty much the reason she's there, which is really sad. You know, she's like the General Grievous of this era, of this Star Wars era, of these movies, which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Basically, made to look cool and does nothing. That scene would have helped her so much, and it's only 1:30, and it would have helped her so much. Rose and Finn go to where they belong. I think that's an easy miss. I think that's perfectly fine to not be there. Just basically them, like, Finn basically resolute and like, I'm going to go and be a rebel. I'm going to go and be a resistance fighter. I'm going to go and do this. Like, I'm not running away this time. I'm done running. He's basically got to answer for all the lives that him and his freaking DJ got killed. You know, if they didn't go on that mission, those people don't die. Pure and simple. That's where I have problems with the resistance stuff. And Rey and Chewie and the Falcon. I think I can see why they didn't put that in there. It's like that was a serious moment, and it was like, like what's happening to Luke? Like, what's gonna happen? And I mean, I knew he's gonna walk out of there like a badass. I just didn't think he was gonna be a force projection. But I thought like he was just not gonna be there, and he's gonna show up somewhere else and use like force jump or like a force speed or whatever to get there. I don't think you needed a Rey and Chewie Falcon moment at that point. That scene needed to be exclusively on that. You know, Kylo, Luke. That whole scene, just encompass it. Don't need anything else. So that 16 seconds would have been a waste. And it would have broken you out of that, like is Luke okay? Is Luke okay? Like that sort of thing. I think that would have been, yeah. Especially when it's like, oh, nope, gonna go that way, and gonna go near all those guns. You know, that sort of thing. It just wasn't necessary. But yeah, I mean, this is all just conjecture. This is all just, you know, the movie's done. You know, the movie's come and gone, and it's, you know, freaking, you know, on digital now. It's gonna be on Blu-ray and all that later on in the month. I will check that out as well. I normally get both. Like, I normally get this for the, you know, early on, and it's handy for like portable and stuff like that. And then you get the Blu-ray, which has a little bit more. This, yeah, it's definitely got a lot of scenes that I think, a few scenes there. I think about half maybe that could have really done with being in the movie. I couldn't say that about Force Awakens. The few scenes that we saw there, I think the one with Kylo when he walks onto the Millennium Falcon when it's on Starkiller Base, I thought that was kind of a cool scene that could have been in there a little bit. But otherwise, like, there wasn't much there that I don't think they needed. This, I think there are some moments that just needed a little more fleshing out. That would have made, like, and they were good moments. They were great moments. I think just that little extra would have just set maybe the bar up a little bit for the movie. You know, stuff like, you know, telling the audience why the Resistance on the back foot immediately after a major victory. You know, Phasma. Why is she like that? Why give her some character development. Seeing Luke grieve for Han. The third lesson, for God's sake. That stuff, I think, it was definitely would have been worth having in the movie. Maybe trimming a few things, like Canto Bight stuff, like a little bit of some of the Resistance stuff, maybe. I think you leave the Kylo, Luke, and Rey stuff alone. You don't need to touch any of that stuff. I think all that was pretty good. But there are some spots. Where they could have trimmed and got some of these scenes in. But I mean, yeah. Like I said, like these scenes aren't gonna drastically change the film. I think it just would have brought the bar up a little bit. It would have brought the bar up. And maybe more people might be cool with it. But there are a lot of people that just hate this movie to its core. I personally can't see it. I can't. I mean, I know the movie has a ton of problems, and I'm not saying it's better than the originals or Force Awakens, but it's damn better than the prequels. That's all I can say. Hopefully, 9, and then obviously the new trilogy with Ryan doing it, I think it'll be okay. It'll be okay. They'll learn from this movie. They'll learn from it. They'll figure out what the majority of Star Wars fans want, and they'll go from there. they'll figure it out. I have faith in them. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.